Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Neo Kenshin here, and we're coming to you with episode 2 of Retro Recall. Basically, just a time to reminisce about good games gone by, and games that I enjoyed playing back in the past in the old days. Like I said, I'm an old streamer. I'm 40 something, and I'm one of those guys that just likes to play those old games and just likes to have fun and remember the good times. Last week we hit a game that I liked, which was Mega Man X2. This week we're going to jump into the classic NES system for one of the games that I used to have on my regular Nintendo, which turns out I never beat as a kid. I didn't beat this game until I was grown. So, and that game is Blaster Master, which is by far one of my all-time favorite games. I got this game, I think, when I was like 7 or 8, like right when it came out. I think I got it for Christmas. I remember unwrapping it from the package for Christmas this year and got it and thought it was just freaking awesome. It was one of those games that I think when I got my Nintendo, I got like a whole bunch of extra stuff for it. I got the system. I got the light gun system. I didn't get the power pad system that had like Duck Hunt, World Class Track Meet, and Mario. I got the one that was just Mario and Duck Hunt. So I had the gun, and then I got like all of the extra controllers. Like I got the quick shot controller, which was like a flight stick, but it had a button on top and the trigger button, and then had the turbo controls. And then I also had the Advantage, which was the arcade joystick. So I had those two. It was really cool. So I played it with I played Blaster Master with that, and for the longest time I just couldn't get through a lot of stuff. But this game was always fun. I eventually learned it was a future Metroidvania, or kind of what inspired the Metroidvania type games, because it was one of those games where I actually went in certain places, got the upgrades and everything. I mean, it was kind of minimal. Like you only had like one screen on the pause screen. So it didn't have a lot of stuff in it, but you didn't need a lot. It was definitely one of my most favorite games. So we'll go ahead and jump into this here. I am playing on the Nintendo Switch on the Virtual Console, so it is available there for if you want to play it. And it even has a special edition if you just want to go ahead and jump straight to the end of the game and see what the ending's like. But we're going to go ahead and go all the way through here. And, I'll give you some tips and strategies on playing the game and, how I went through it and finally managed to beat it. I will say this, a turbo controller is your best friend for this game, unless you can just control it. But, we'll just jump in and go from there. There's really not much to the title screen. It's just, boom, right there, you turn it on. You come to find out the story was really unique. It has a frog, and apparently this frog gets loose, and next thing you know, this dude has a box of radioactive material outside his yard. You'd think that they'd have, like, hazard control, to figure out why he's got radioactive material. So, what does he do? He jumps in a hole after the big frog. That was radioactive material, and finds a tank. Like, where do you get that? So, but that is Blaster Master. There's really not much to it. It's A to jump, B to shoot. So, your menu screen, you really only have 3 things you can do. It basically just shows you where your upgrades are, and you get 3 different special weapons: homing missiles, lightning bolts, your multi-warheads, which once you collect them, those are kind of extra weapons. But other than that, you're just running gunfire. So, but yeah, I got this game. I think it came out in '88. Because I think I was like at least in I was at least in first or second grade when I got it. And so, you know, I always thought it was really cool. The music was really awesome. So I had fun with it. And, you know, this is one of those games where this one got a remake out of nowhere. So, like, if you hadn't heard any idea what Blaster Master was, you probably heard of Blaster Master Zero, which is the remake that was done by Inti Creates back in, what was it, like 2017? It was done in 2017, and they basically just took the game and completely changed it. So, you'll see here, this game has two different styles of play. Your one style is you're in the tank, and that's when you're dealing with like a lot of the bigger enemies. And then you have the top-down section where you control Jason. And the top-down section is actually where you're going to be dealing most of your boss battles. We get into these areas. Jason, you know, he's got full 8-way movement. All he really has is a power meter and a gun meter. That's really all he's got. Your grenades are spammable. You can fire away like crazy, but his real benefit comes from his gun. Like as you collect gun power-ups, you will notice that his gun gets a lot better, from longer range to eventually firing curved bullets to eventually becoming a walking beam of death. So, what I'm doing here, this is one of the many entrances. There's like these little mini top-down dungeons, which of course the goal is to find the boss of each stage, and when you find the boss and you beat it, you get an upgrade that will take you to the next stage. So, but since Jason, of course, is our guy we got to use, we kind of want to power him up. And here's, you know, right at the beginning is a real easy place to power up. You know, once you kill this guy, you start getting the gun power-ups, and you'll start noticing things like as you get to level 4, you'll start noticing curved bullets. As you get higher, those bullets will start curving more, and those curved bullets actually do a lot of damage. So, we'll come back in here probably 2 more times, because oh yeah, and also, like, if you hold your A button down, he will strafe, which is good. So, now that you got your curved bullets, you kind of want to go up here. These items will replenish every time. So, you know, you leave, come back, and they will come back, and if you notice, his gun's got a bit better. He now looks like a wave formation. And now when you hit level 7, now you have the beam of death. He fires this rainbow-colored beam and just basically will go through everything and obliterate everything. But when you get out, his gun is the same. Now, you want to be careful as Jason. He can't take falls from high places. Like, even the slightest fall from a high place, it'll wipe him out. You want to be real careful with it. But he does have a little bit of a caveat. Any damage he takes outside of the tank, once you get back in the tank, he'll be healed back to full. So, and he doesn't lose gun power when he takes damage outside of the tank. So, if you get hit, you don't have to worry about losing your gun. And now, right here, this is kind of where we need to go for our boss. This is actually a good idea just to leave here, because right now, the tank is, when you put it in water, it sinks like a dead. And moves like a walrus on dirt. Yeah, it's slow. So, we won't do that, but we'll come up here into this little dungeon and basically just proceed to destroy everything in our path. So, you know, the fun thing about this game, back in 87, or 88, or back in the 80s, you know, this was back before, you know, they had the internet, and like the only way you really got a tip line Nintendo Power. That was kind of your go-to, which I had a subscription to it, and honestly it's pretty cool because they have a lot of really good things. Nintendo Power is like kind of the awesome magazine for, you know, back in the day if you had a Nintendo. So that was really one of the cool things. You know, they had all kinds of articles and stuff about all the games, and, you know, they did walkthroughs and playthroughs, and, you know, they also had, like, what is it? I think they had, like, the Nintendo Atlas, which was a really good thing, because it had, like, multiple games, like Super Mario Brothers and everything, and that stupid thing came in the spikes, which, of course, took my good luck down. But like I was saying, they had, like, Nintendo Power, and, you know, it had all kinds of cool stuff in it, and Blaster Master was in it, which was really cool. So we're at the first boss here, which this is Mother Brain. Your best bet, if you got a turbo controller, just basically pound this dude with grenades. And just blast him with grenades. And you blow up, and you'll see an item upgrade. This is our Hyper upgrade, which basically powers up our main gun in our tank. Which is kind of what we need, because kind of need it to get past this one boss. Like I said, if you take any damage as Jason, you know, before you get back in the tank, don't worry. Any damage you take in this overworld view, you will re-heal, and you don't lose any gun power. But if you now notice, our tank shots are now a little bit different. They now look more kind of angle-line, streamlined, but they are more powerful. So actually, no, I'm going to go down here, because I'm going to go get a little bit of a special weapon ammo, because I'm going to need it. So, right down here, you will find homing missiles, which are good to have, because we're going to be dealing with some stuff. And if you get going over here to the left, there would have been another kind of dungeon area, but, you know, it doesn't really take you anywhere. So kind of the premise was, and this is the sucker, like this guy right here, you kind of needed the Hyper because you can't get through him. Like if you attacked it before you got it, you basically were just going to be firing for ages. So, the goal, of course, after you clear a level, is to find a gate like this and head to the next stage. Now, we get introduced to one of the most annoying enemies in the game, these little caterpillar things. They're too low for your regular shots, and they will, like, chase you down. It's just annoying. So, and you'll see here, we've got a block that we can't really blast through, so we gotta go around. But, you know, this was kind of one of the more interesting things about the game is, you know, well, for those who don't really know, kind of the backstory in this game, it didn't really give you much. You know, a guy was going and chasing his frog after finding out that it apparently mutated after hitting a big tub of radioactive waste. Well, this game in Japan was actually much different. It was actually called, I think it's called Chō Wakusei Metafight. I don't know what the first part of it is, but the main name of it is called Metafight. And it actually had a decent story to it. Like, the storyline was apparently I think it's called the planet Sophia or something. Because if you notice, like, on the screen it says Sophia the Third Nora MA01. It never explains what that is in the instruction manual. Like, what the heck is that? Well, luckily, and of course if you didn't play the Japanese version, you wouldn't know what that is. You'd be like, okay, what is this Nora MA01 whatever? Well, turns out that's the name of the tank. It turns out, I think it's like the Nora MA01, it's supposed to stand for Metal Attacker, because in the Japanese version of Metafight, it was called the Metal Attacker. So, and this was apparently the first one they made. Well, I think maybe the only one. So, you know, that's what they called it. And apparently, because I think Sophia was like the planet it was made on or something. And I think Sophia was like the planet it was made on. And I think Nora was supposed to be like a science satellite or something. And like your main character, he wasn't called Jason. His name was King Gardner, which I'll actually be able to tell you a lot more here about it as it goes on. So apparently, like, the story is like they're under attack by a mysterious army or something. I think it's called the Indem Army or something, which basically is trying to take over the planet or something. Which sounds kind of a lot. You'll even notice the main difference, like when you do the launch screen, it doesn't show you launching out of a cave, it shows you actually launching out of like a space station, which is really cool. So, you know, the whole process is, you know, this is not really planet Earth, this is like some underground, like this is some alternate planet or something. So it was a really cool story, which later, which is what NT Creates used with the Blaster Master Zero series. So, I'll get into that a little bit more. Like the game itself, it did spawn a couple of sequels. After this one, it spawned, what is it? It spawned Blaster Master 2, which came out on the Sega Genesis, which, honestly, compared to the look of this one, it didn't really look too good. I think they tried to put a lot more in, and it just kind of, wow. Yeah. And then there was also, there was also another game called Blaster Master Boy, which was on the Game Boy. But that one was literally, you played as Jason the whole time. And it looked kind of like Bomberman. And then finally, they did a remake on the Game Boy Color called Blaster Master Enemy Below, which that one basically was kind of like a retelling of Blaster Master 1. It had the top downs and the top down view and everything, so it was kind of interesting. And then finally, it spawned a PlayStation game called Blaster Master Enemy Below, which, not Blaster Master Enemy Below, Blaster Master Blasting Again, which I actually have a copy. Here, I'll go ahead and show you. Yep, Blaster Master. Yes, let me put a reflection here of my audio real quick. Maybe that'll help, but you'll still see my desktop background. But yeah, Blaster Master again. This was supposedly the purported sequel, which, for those who don't know, ended up chronicling Jason's kid, Roddy. Now, people are probably saying, wait, Jason had a kid with who? Well, this was another thing. Back in the late 90s, back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a publisher, an author called FX9 that released a set of books called the Worlds of Power series. Stupid eyeballs. He released a set of books called the World of Power series. And these were like over a lot of the classic NES games. There was one done on Metal Gear, one done on Blaster Master, Ninja Gaiden, even one called Infiltrator. You know, there was a good amount of them. So he released that and did one for Blaster Master, which I'll jump to here in a sec, because now we're here at the second boss, which is Cradulus. So Crapulous is one of those bosses where you can either take him with the blaster or the grenade, but he has a little bit of a hidden weakness. Get up into his face and blast him with the grenades. Crud. Okay, I am getting hammered. Okay, I gotta try to do this right. Oh, missed it. But there's a trick called the pause trick, where on bosses, certain level bosses, which are in level 2, 4, 6, and 7. Oh, darn it. Okay, so the trick is, in levels 2, 4, 6, and 7, you throw a grenade, and if you hit him, and you'll notice when you hit him because it's going to start flashing. Which, there we go. You hit him and you pause it. You let it sit for about 20-30 seconds, and you'll hear the music change. Unpause, and he is dead. Instant dead boss. And now we get our Crusher Beam, which is our final cannon upgrade, which now lets us blast through those blocks. So, as I was saying, Blaster Master had books that were made called the Worlds of Power book, which I actually have one as well. Which, this one, I got this one as a kid and loved it. Which is basically just a retelling of the Blaster Master story. And they introduced, some interesting characters, like Jason has this friend called Alex who has a pet crab or something, and they introduced the character of Eve, who she's apparently from like an alien world or something with some really crazy complicated name that, it's just weird. Well, out of all the books they had of that series, Sunsoft decided, we're going to make that book canon. So, in the original Blaster Master lore, that book is considered canon. So, Eve was officially created and made part of the Blaster Master universe. So, yeah. So, with the sequel, Blaster Master Blasting again, apparently, Jason and Eve get married, they have a kid named Roddy, and he's the one who apparently is taking over Jason, because Jason is apparently dead after fighting off a bunch of mutants called the Lightning Beings, which were, like, they're supposedly mutants from Eve's planet, or whatever, that destroyed her planet, but, that was crazy. But, yeah, there was, the game itself was pretty interesting. It's, 3D Blaster Master, and they kind of get into the story as well. But, yeah, that was something nobody expected. And then, of course, Inti Creates, when they decided, hey, you know what? We're going to make Blaster Master Zero, and we're going to reboot it. Well, they decided they're just going to take everything from everything. So, you come to find out. So, I won't spoil too much, but yeah, Blaster Master Zero literally takes all of it. So, they used that to create Eve and Blaster Master Zero. They even used the Metafight game as part of its canon material. So, I won't really spoil much of the Blaster Master Zero series, but I will say this. Play it. It is a great series. All three of them are on, they're all on the main consoles, PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, Steam, and if you still have, and even the first one, if you have it, is on the Nintendo 3DS, because that's actually where it first came out. So, it's on all three. So, now that we have the Crusher Beam, like I said, you can now break these blocks, and this is where it's going to take us, which is going to take us to level 3. But I will definitely say the trilogy is a way forward. I want to know why, because they're another company that made a really good game series that I really enjoy, and also remade DuckTales, which is really good, but we'll talk about that in the series. What was I saying? I can't even remember what I was saying. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, if you definitely want to get into the Blaster Master series, definitely. Even if you start here at the beginning, or if you decide to play the Zero series, both are really good. So definitely check it out. Now, as you can see, those little caterpillar things are there. Now we get to be introduced to their annoying cousins, the red ones. Now this is the problem with the red ones. The red ones will literally hunt you down until they really hunt you down hard. Whether you go left, right, whatever, they will hunt you down. And they jump, too. Which is really, really annoying. If you run into those guys, do everything you can to kill them. Man, I am taking a lot of damage here. But basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get through level 3. Ouch. So there's another door, but that's not where we need to go. Usually when you find your exit doors for your boss, they'll usually be located in a place that only has like one way to get in. So if there's like multiple corridors, that'll usually give you a hint and tell you, that's not where you need to go to face the boss. Now, if you notice, there is for the power-ups, the key, of course, is your power. There's also this H power-up, and that's going to be for our hover gauge. Well, we don't have hover yet, but you can go ahead and collect those power-ups, and once you do get the hover upgrade, it will actually have your hover meter full. So it's a good idea to go ahead and collect. Alright. More of those guys. So... But yeah, this game, honestly, I would have to say, yeah, you see that? Like, you kind of just chased after you, and then you'll just be stuck jumping, so yeah, kill those things as fast as you can. It'll save you a great hit. Now, that also kind of makes you wonder, if this gets in a tank, just how big are those creatures in real life? Like, if you were to look from the tank perspective, compared to the size of Jason, how big are these things? I mean, it gotta be like the size of what? A Buick? Okay. So we're getting a lot deeper into level 3, which is good. Now, this also kind of is going to give you a hint as to where exactly you'll need to go. Because you'll see over here, there's an area up here that we can't get to. Well, we're going to need the hover converter to get up there. Try to jump, you're just not going to make it. But luckily, that's going to be our prize for getting to level 3. And just want to gather as much to keep my health up. Okay. I do not want to deal with those guys, but they are annoying. But, I just want to try to keep my life as high as possible. Okay. And how's it recording? So we're only 30 minutes in. That's not bad. I didn't know I could get to level 3 in 30 minutes. But, I mean, I guess when you've been playing as long as I have. And that's what happens when you're old. You just kind of learn this stuff, and, you know, you're good to like, ooh, I do not like that. Hey, quit hitting me, please. Okay. So, we have come to the end of our journey, and like I said, normally when you get to areas like this, where, you know, you go through and there's only one, that usually tells you that's where the boss. So, and I did want to make sure I had full beam because it's going to really make this boss easier. Though, in the speedrunning, like when you see people speedrunning, most of the time they'll use grenades because it does do extra damage. But, you know, I'll do the safe version. Now, we start to get introduced to red enemies. These guys are kind of the more annoying versions of their older, you know, their younger cousins. Especially because they do take a little bit more damage. You know, they home in on you more, and some of them start firing shots at you. So, you want to try to get rid of the red ones as soon as possible. Oh, didn't want to do that. Oh, we're okay, because we'll get some more gun power-ups. Now, if you notice, he did make a shot there. So, this laser thing, you want to be careful because it will fire like a homing shot, and it'll track, so, be careful. But luckily, here, you pick up some gun power-ups and blocks, so, you know, if your gun did get powered down, there's a chance for you to power back. I think there's like 4 total gun power-ups, so 3 or 4. You just kind of want to take your time. Just, you know, don't really want to jump into it too fast. Don't want to hit the spikes. But you still want to collect the gun. So. Okay. So our next boss is Photophage. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This boss gave me grief. I had the worst time trying to beat him. He's a bunch of these little block things that spawn and shoot. Honestly, if you've got the upgraded blaster, it's really good because you can just keep your distance and just shoot him. He'll start throwing out all kinds of different projectiles. Just watch him and see what he does. But just keep your distance from him. And, you know, just do your best to kind of avoid him. And as you start hitting him, he will start speeding up. So just take your time, and you'll take him out. And our prize is a nifty little hover converter. Which, now if we check, we've got the first of our 4-wheel items, which is basically our movement items. And now you also notice we have a nice little hover gauge. So basically now we have the ability to fly. Well, a bit. But we now can get up to higher spots in the tank. So, and I'll show you here. Like you'll see, you'll notice the wheels now flip and now become jets. Don't want to use it too much because it apparently drains that hover meter fast. But we will actually need it in order to make our way to level 4. And like that's our first use to get back. Alright. So now actually getting hover power-ups is actually worth it. Okay, now, I'll give you kind of a little bit of a tip here. There is a secret tip where if you're kind of going for the speed run, you actually can die, and what it will do is it will actually take you. I'm about to die. Right. Well, if you die and get game over, what I was saying, it'll actually take you back to the beginning of the, zone that you're in, which is actually a speedrunning technique used to get through level 3, because level 3 does have a lot of backtracking to get back, but I'm going to show you the normal way of going with that game. Now, you do get 5 continues in the game, so if you get game over, you get 5 chances to continue. But that's it. After 5 continues, you're done. So this is where we're supposed to go, and this is what we do is break through these. And once we break through them, you'll notice that we come back out right here, where our entrance is. And just to kind of show you, there is another path over here. But unfortunately, we can't get through here because those spikes are really bad, and we need a couple more upgrades to get through there. So we'll come back there later. But for now, we'll head on it. Now, the instruction manual actually did something interesting. The instruction manual actually had a map of where you're supposed to go in order to get to each of the zones. And in it, you would see it's got level 1, and then level 2 is connected to 1, and then 2 connected to 3. But it also showed that level 4 was connected to level 1. So, you gotta go back to level 1. But yeah, the speedrun strat is, after you beat Photophage, you die and get game over, and it'll take you straight back to the portal warp and get you back in. So now we can get back to level 1. We can now use, our Crusher Beam, and we've got a couple of extra shortcuts open. So this will keep us from having to go super far, because we can now cut through these blocks. And we're right almost at the entrance. Now the homing missiles really come in handy on these on-one things. Alright, and we are back in Area 1. So, now, a lot of times people always ask, okay, well, where do you go in order to get to level 4? Well, if you were playing around, you wouldn't really know unless you started playing around with your hover, because the thing is, you always need the item you get from a stage to get to the next stage. Like, we needed the Hyper Beam to get to level 2, we need the Crusher Beam to get to level 3, so we do need the Hover Converter to get to level 4. So, one thing that a lot of people didn't know is, if you jump high enough, start of the game, you'll kind of see something, and there's a hidden ledge that, unless you really paid attention to, right there at the beginning, you kind of forget about it. So, what we're going to do here, make sure we got enough hover, and we're going to head back to the beginning. Now, I still never understood why they had that electric grass there, and they put enemies down there, because, if you jump down there, it's going to just basically break your tank. So, ooh, ouch, I'm getting bombed. Ouch, that hurts. So this kind of introduced the first instance of the Metroidvania feel, backtracking and trying out new stuff. So, you see that ledge up there? That's where we gotta go. Jump up, use our hover. Luckily, there's additional hover power-ups. Keep us refilled, and they're flashing ones, so we'll get 4 units each. And get up here, and there's our path. Now, we don't really need hover for a while, so kind of a good thing. We'll probably refill it on this way back, but we got another gate, and welcome into Area 4, which is the Cavernous Swamp. This level always felt kind of creepy with the music. And I'll tell you why, because there was a certain part in this music that you're just like, what in the creepy, ugh. here, coming up right here, you'll hear this, like, wow, like, what in the world? Yeah. So, this is actually where we need to go, but we need a key. Okay, so, obviously that means you gotta go the other way. More deeper into this swamp. Now, there's something unique about level 4. Level 7 also has the same unique feature, is that the dungeons are not separated. Because usually the dungeons are separate dungeons, like when you enter in the dungeon, it's its own little area. Well, the dungeons in 4 and 7 are unique. They are actually one big map. So yeah, it's just one big map. So if you ever watch a speed run, you'll see that in level 4 and 7, the speed runners actually get to a certain part, and what they'll do is they'll use what's called damage boosting. So it's you take damage and you use your invincibility to literally cross over and bypass things that you normally can't get past. So once we get into the dungeon, I'll actually show you. Probably need to make sure I get some cover too, because I think I'm gonna need some. If I don't find any, I'm sure I'll find it here before I take the boss. So yeah, we're basically descending into a beautiful sewer. Okay. Oh yeah, I need hover. Get back here, you guys. So I gotta find these. Oh, I need to get at least 1 or 2 more things. Hover. Okay, now I'm stuck. Okay, there we go. That's one. Another one. There we go. Alright, good. Gives us 2 minutes hover to get up here. It was just enough. But yeah, we'll find more hover. I'm sure to find more hover here. Okay. And here we go. I gotta remember these buttons. Okay. Now, we don't have any gun, but we do get introduced to these freaks. These suckers will hunt you down. Now, this is the main reason why, is there's water everywhere. And that water is instant death. So, no falling in the pool. Nope, Jason cannot swim. And this is also kind of why you want to have a powered up blaster, because dealing with these guys is a lot easier. But now, this is also something really weird. Why is there a power up over there when you can't get it because the water's fatal? But there is a thing though. Apparently with damage boosting, if you take damage, you can apparently run over those small parts, and you can get over in time. Well, like I said, that's what the speedrunners do, and there's apparently glitches or something that you can do, which basically allow you to speedrun, so that's why they can go in, like, a different part of the dungeon, and basically fly through here. But with level 4, a lot of times in speedrun, they skip level 4. Because there's apparently some glitch where at the key location, you can apparently phase through the door to get into level 5, and then phase through the walls in level 5 to get to the boss, which is really weird. I don't know how it's done, but all I know is it is definitely a cool tactic. Oh, get away from... Okay, so I definitely know I have to get more gun power before level 5. There's a big reason. It'll definitely take a little bit of time to try to power up my gun. Okay, a little bit of hover, got a hover power up. Now, I'm not really worried about using the blaster here, because this boss is another one of the grenade trick bosses. Where if you hit him, that's what I was looking for. Yep, power up, hover. So that'll take care of our hover to get us out of there. Alright. So this boss here is another one of the bosses that is subject to the pause trick. And we finally face off against our frog, Fred. Yep, he's a big sucker. Okay. There we go. And we got him. So we'll just let him slip on that grenade. And when you hear the music change, that's when you know he is a done frog. And we get the key. Now, mind you, this is Jason's only upgrade in this whole game. Literally. And all it's designed for is to open those doors. That's it. That's it. Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a quick backtrack to level 1, because level 5, I need to get some gun upgrades, and I can't really find any good upgrades in level 5. And got our hover to get us out of there. Goodness. Okay. Guess we get a bunch of these guys. There we go. Now we get the heck out of here. Alright, now let's get out of this sewer. Okay, so there's a reason why I want to go to get my gun powered up first. Because level 5 is a finicky one. Okay. Oh, come on. Here we go. So, yeah, basically when I was a kid and I played this game, I think I got to level 4. When I finally got to level 4, I had already played it and had used at least 2 or 3 continues. So, you know, out of the 5 that you have left, I never knew, am I gonna make it through? So, I was always worried because, you know, I kept always taking too much damage, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. And it made me mad because, you know, as you let the game play, you know, if you just watch the intro over and over, it'll go through and it'll show off some of the stages. And, you know, it showed off an ice stage and everything, and I never got there for a while. And then, of course, I read in the instructions, you know, when it talks about your upgrades, get, you know, upgrades called, like, Wall 1 and Wall 2. I can never get those later levels. Alright. So far, so good. Okay. So, yes, we are going to take a little bit of a detour. I'm going to go back to level 1 because, like I said, level 5 is finicky. And trying to get gun upgrades in level 5 is not fun. So we'll go back to level 1 and pick up some quick gun upgrades there. And then plus it also let me refill my hover. So I can get more hover. And then we'll have a level 5. Yeah, if I hadn't taken all that damage, like, honestly having the maximum gun would have been really good. Going through level 4, because clearing those suckers out, and I wouldn't have had to been as careful going through, you know, taking care of those little alien soldiers and stuff, because I could have just blasted them from long range. Okay, so we get over here, farm, and that'll also let me refill my hover. Yeah. Now, if you're kind of in a hurry, you can jump off the ladder, and if you time it, and if you hit the A button, you can have Jason jump back on. Kind of dangerous, so I don't really recommend it, but if you want to try it, there. Okay. So it's going to take at least 4 trips. So we'll go ahead and I'm not really worried about, you know, right there at the beginning, because yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of damage, but you know, I'll get that back with the power-ups there. Alright, now let's hope it's only 3 more tries, and then once we have the maximum level gun, we will head to level 5. And there's a specific reason why I want the max level gun. And when I get there, I'll let you know. Which, honestly, if you're playing it, you will want to have the max level gun at level 5. Because that boss is probably the most frustrating boss in the whole. The bad part about it is, number 1, because he's level 5, he's not, you can't use the pause glitch on him. So, you can't use that to beat him. And number 2, he has probably the worst hitbox I have ever seen of any kind of boss in any kind of game ever. Which is bad. Which is real bad. Okay, this will be our last run. We've got our early wave beam gun. And we will go get our max gun. Luckily, when you hit level 7, when you're upgrading, it goes ahead and sends you to the rainbow beam. So luckily it does that. And that's our level 8 gun. Okay, let's get out of here. Make sure to take care of you. Alright. And just make sure we get some power-ups on the way, because I do not want to die. I've probably used up most of my homing missiles, so I probably need to switch to the mega warheads. Yep. Oh, and just to kind of show the other weapons here, like the Thunder Break, it will fire lightning bolts below you, and then the warheads will fire 3. So, I still wonder how, like, the speedruns and tool assists will actually... The thing is, you're supposed to hold down when you fire the weapons, but I'm just wondering how they managed to, you know, they managed to fire it and fire it up. And I've seen them, like, they'll fire the triple warheads upwards, which is like, I don't know how. Okay. I don't want to take too much damage here. Okay. First one. Second one. Third one. Okay. And we're probably good on hover for a while, but we'll end up getting more later. But for now, we don't really need it. We're back to level 4. Okay, good. Now we'll head on over where we need King. So yeah, for like speedrunners, they do some kind of glitch here, which I think is in some kind of version where they'll like get out of the car and go back and forth, and they literally can walk through the walls. Now, this part was actually made a bit easier for us here in the States, because in Metafight, the Japanese version, these platforms didn't exist because they thought it was too easy. What there was a big massive jump, and there was like a little tiny piece of a ladder. You had to jump from that thing and catch the ladder to get through, and it was a one-shot deal. If you missed it, you're dead. So we are now entering level 5, which has probably one of the most relaxing tunes in the game. And as you can see, we are underwater. So that is, of course, the premise of the stage, which basically means we are nothing but a big rock. And it also kind of gives you an idea as to what our upgrade's going to be. Well, we're sinking and floating. We're basically sinking, so it means we're going to need an upgrade to basically let us get through the water. So pretty much what you want to do is just sink like a rock while listening to this really relaxing tune. And you'll end up parking right here. You literally can't do anything else, so you get out and you're basically Jason from now on. Do this whole thing. Which makes you kind of wonder, you know, with these monsters and stuff, like, how big are they compared to Jason? He's this small. How big are they? That blaster rifle is definitely powerful, but you want to be careful because, like I said, you don't have the chance to get back to the tank to heal, so you want to really be careful on these suckers because luckily they're not too tough. So luckily they're not too tough, so, you know, if you get them, and also you're lucky that you don't lose gun power. Oh, come on, give me some power-ups. Oh, I gotta be careful. Good. Okay, I'm in trouble. Okay, give me that. Give me a P, give me a P. Good. Okay. Now, hope I picked the right one because I get this one confused a lot. I think this is it. Yep. Okay, good. Now, like I said, there's a reason why you want to go in here with the level 8 gun. As one, you're probably going to have taken a lot of damage. 2, you get to deal with these red guys. And you really want to keep your distance, you really don't want to take damage. And trying to get a gun power up, there's a chance to get one, but it's really rare. Okay. Now I'm gonna be careful. Okay, good. So those things can drop a gun, but like I said, you want to be careful because that thing will shoot as soon as you come out and just kind of cheese you. But for now, we're just gonna keep using our firepower, getting through. There is a chance here, there's 2 more of those little laser cannon things here. Which, if you get lucky, they will drop it. Now, say hello to the worst boss in this little game. This is why you want the level 8 gun. Meet Hardshell. This stupid crustacean has the worst hitbox. This hitbox is that little green thing in the middle, and he fires these bubbles like crazy. So if you don't have the level 8 gun, he is a pain to kill, because trying to use grenades on him just don't work. So this is why you want the level 8 gun. Literally just stay back and blast. And once he's done, you never got to deal with Hardshell again. And our gift is the dive module. Now we can get the heck out of here. While still listening to this really cool and calm music. Like I said, this is probably one of the best themes in the game. Like, if you know, after all the crazy stuff, just getting to hear this one is just really calming. You know? And it's perfect for an underwater level. Alright. I'm not worried about y'all. Not worried about y'all one bit. Yep, that's right. Shoot me, hit me, because I'm running. Oh, bye. Not dealing with you, bye. That's okay, as long as I'm not dead, I'm good. You're the last one. Oh, you might be the last one. Okay. You're the last one. Okay, now, since we're in, we get refilled, we now have the dive module. Now, we're not like now we're a nice little cool submarine. So now we actually get to explore most of this stage. Well, we actually have to because the way we gotta go to get out is right up here, but when you're in dive mode, you can't aim up to shoot. So, we just gotta kind of go around. Which is kind of the cool part. So we get to explore, listen to this cool thing in our little sub-tank. And things aren't as bad because we have more firepower. The only downside is using the Thunder Break here. It doesn't really, I mean, it'll still hit downward, but it doesn't really do much. Inti Creates really kind of improved on the Thunder Break by making it, it's like, hey, you're using lightning underwater. Let's have it electrocute the enemies, which made perfect sense. So, yeah, we don't get that nifty little bonus until Blaster Master Zero. But it would have been really cool if we did get it. Okay. Yep, y'all come up here. I'll get all y'all. Okay. So we get to look at more of this underwater ocean, or this underground ocean, and actually get to see more of the underwater ruins, which, mind you, look really cool. But yeah, that's pretty much most of level 5 is a quick run to the boss, and then just exploring your way out. Up at the top. You know what? I'm gonna lure you guys over here. Oh, or I was. I'm just gonna blow a shortcut over here. Well, actually no, but that takes you to another, dungeon area, which really we don't need because, I mean, hey, we've already killed Hardshell. We're getting out of here. Just a little bit of slowdown. And then you'll see that we've now gotten past that gate here. And we can now head up and through. And we're on our way to level 6. Alright, Area 6. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I got to level 6 for the first time and heard this theme, I was like, dude, this is the best freaking theme in the game. And I still stand by that to this day. I honestly think this is one of the best themes in the game. You know what just hit me? I completely forgot there was another Blaster Master game that spawned on the Wii. This is a really unknown title. Not many people really know about it. There's a game called Blaster Master Overdrive, which was released. Now, it's kind of a black sheep game. It has... They remixed a lot of the music from the original. And, you know, they definitely gave Sophia some interesting upgrades, like gave it a grappling hook. Still got the dive module. You get a grappling hook, you get like advanced tires to like go through snow areas. But I think the hardest thing was, you know, they gave you 3 different guns. And those guns were to upgrade in the top-down sections. Oh man, you want to talk about something hard to control, because you had to use the Wiimote in sideways form and trying to strafe with that thing using the your button as your brake button. Oh, it was really painful. Okay, good. I can use those. Now, with the ice, be careful here, because if you fall through here, it'll basically take you back to the beginning of the stage. You want to be really careful. Now, in terms of stopping your momentum, jump. Jumping will help kind of keep you from, you know, overexerting. So jumping, turning the other way, but that was good. And if you have hover, do not be afraid to use it, especially over some of these jumps. So, if you end up going forward, turn and then jump the other way. That will usually help stop your forward momentum and keep you from falling. I want to stay kind of up near the top. I want to deal with those freaks. There we go. And that should get us through there. And luckily we don't have any ice to deal with. And you may also find some power-ups in some of these blocks too, which will definitely come in handy. Use some extra ammo. Alright. Alright. Take our time through here. Those spikes are also going to be trouble too. Here we go. Ouch. Okay, so we'll probably be dealing with a few more of these little guys. Luckily, the ones that fall, you get them with homing missiles, go for it. Otherwise, you know, try to jump at them and get them as they're falling. Alright. And to this day, nobody has figured out what's down there, so we just ignore it. Okay, here we go. So yeah, you will experience some slowdown because there are a lot of enemies here. You do not want to take the path on the left yet. If you do, that's going to loop you back to the beginning of the thing. You want to take the path on. Okay. And this is our final gate. Now, this one, you can soft lock yourself here if you're not careful. Because if you pause and unpause, those blocks will come back. If by chance you are crazy enough to drill out a hole, jump out of Sophia, and unpause while in the blocks, you pretty much soft lock yourself. So, carefully. So, you want to be careful here, because there are some slick areas. And try your hardest to just use your strafe and take your time. It's okay if you get hit, because there are some gun power-ups. Here. If you can stay to the corners, that'll help. Because you can take the corners and get through. And then when you get down here at the bottom, you should be able to come straight through. Now, this one is another one where like I said, it's okay, because in here are gun power. There are some gun power-ups, so you can find a gun power-up if you're lucky. But if you don't, that's okay. The boss here is another one of the special bosses that is weak to the grenade trick. So, you can either use the blaster or you can use the grenade trick if you don't have a power blaster. And if things work out, I'm probably going to take him on with the blaster. And then, of course, there are some of these turrets here where, if you're lucky, they will also drop blaster power-ups. You just want to take your time. Let these guys come to you. Keep your distance. There we go. And use that blaster up to its full potential. Okay. Now, this boss here is kind of a remake. Say hello to Frozen Crabulus. He's a little bit tougher. His arms are a little bit longer, but the same strategy works once again. This time he now throws ice chunks, so I don't want to keep an eye out for those. And be careful of those. Just kind of stay back here at the bottom and just shoot him from long range. And just kind of stay away from his arms. It will kind of slow the game down for a bit, but it's worth it. Get as many hits in as you can. Stay away from them arms. And luckily you can... Oh! Like for something like that. And we will take him down. And get our first, well, the next to last of our wheel upgrades. We get wall 1, which now means we have the ability to climb on walls. Which is going to be kind of finicky. So basically, if you drive up a wall, you now can drive up the side of it. It is finicky because it automatically turns on sometimes when you go up certain walls, so you gotta be careful. Now, so if you had the manual would tell you that in order to get to stage 7, you gotta go back to stage 2. So, this is usually where speedrunners, I believe, they would do a game over here to go back to level 5, beat through level 5 to get to level 4, level 4 to level 1. That would be another where they take another game over. But, we're not trying to take game overs. We're just trying to get out of here. And we'll get through here and we'll say goodbye to wonderful calm ocean and never come back again. Back to level 4. Yeah, if you notice, like, it'll instantly kick in and you'll start climbing up walls, so it does get kind of annoying. You gotta be careful. And we'll try to pick up some extra hover on the way, because we will need some more hover. Luckily, we will get some hover power-ups here soon. Okay. Where? Oh, didn't want to go to her forward. Wow. Okay. I did not know you could glitch the audio like that. So, hey, this is how old is this game? This game is 30-something years old, you know? So, if it happens, it happens. So, we'll just dash in some extra hover. Okay, wasn't money there. Some there. Alright, good. So we've got our hover. Now we're just gonna get back to level 2. Once again, be careful because that wall 1 will kick in. And next thing you know, you're end up driving off into that grass. And wow, an hour and 20. Okay, some point, some good time here. You know what, go down and get some homing missiles. And thanks to our nifty little dive module, we can get through a little faster. Okay. But yeah, like if you keep going, it just would have taken you straight up here. So, like I said, that's why you want to be careful with using the wall unit, because it is a fun unit, but it can be annoying. So just be careful with it. Alright, area 2. Back here one more time. Oh, and we forgot to say goodbye to level 1 because we'll never be coming back to level 1. Okay, we'll take our shortcut through. Now, this one is a little bit further down. It's down here is to level 3. But if you keep going down further, you guys, there's another breakthrough here, and our entrance is right here. Okay, now, this is where we go. This is why we need the wall unit, is because we're climbing up this big long wall. Get up here. So basically just drive up here, hit your hover bit, and that will make sure that you get through. And we get introduced, well, we get to meet those wonderful little red guys again. And here we are, the entrance to level 7. So we come right out of the ice pit and straight into the fire. And the music has now gotten way more intense. Now, what you can see here is these guys have now gotten into hard mode. So, no more gray ones, they're all pretty much red ones. So, a lot tougher, a lot harder, and a lot more dangerous. Oh boy. Yeah. So you will run into kind of these areas. There's lots of portals to get through here. So most of it is just clearing everything out and making your way through. Alright. And that top one is, it can be confusing. That top one I think doubles you back and takes you backwards. So you don't want to take the top one. You kind of want to work your way down. And make your way down here, because there is another portal entrance here, so this is the one on page. gosh, just keep firing because those things will keep jumping out at you. Alright. One more here. That's where we want to go. And we're getting deeper into the fire pit. Yeah, like as you can see, these things are way tougher. They take a lot more damage. Because I think pretty much they know that you're getting close to the end game, so they're going to throw everything at you. And it's a good thing you got a tank, because this will be a long walk. Now here you want to be careful, because these platforms technically can drive off, and it'll throw you off and end up knocking you down into the blob below, and you don't want that. That's an instant blow. And I think we're actually down at our last life, so that would make game over for us. Which means I have to go through all this again. I don't want to do that. So, this right here, you don't want to come here because this will take you right back to the beginning of the page. So, but we'll come back here later. Now, there's another area you want to be careful with. Take your time, use your hover if you need to. Okay. And this should be getting our last portal, or it should be going through one more portal. Stay with it, you know. Okay, so this is where we want to be. This is kind of the final area that you know you're in the end game of this area. So, and wall will give you some frustration because it does want to climb up every now and then. So, just, you know, don't let it get to you. Just kind of, you know, take your time through here. We'll have the red dots to deal with. Do your best to get them up. Keep firing. There is a gun power-up outside, which is... You don't usually see that. Okay. And here is our final entrance. Now, there are some shortcuts here, which can be found by damage boosting, but I'm not about to try them, because I'm not about to risk losing it, and I kind of want the upgraded gun for boss here. And to take out those things. But, like I was saying, this stage is kind of like level 4. The level is just one big map. So, like I said, what speedrunners do is they know, like, you can go into one dungeon entrance, and you're technically in the dungeon entrance for the boss, and you use damage boosting to get over the lava, and that can take you to the boss. So, I don't know how they do it, but it is, like this is one of the areas right here, which I'm not about to risk it. Like, I think you do damage boost across that, and that's a big shortcut. That's a damage boost area. We are not dealing with any of that. I'm just coming in here guns blazing and picking out everything I can. Okay. There we go. And a gun power in case you need it. that one, I think, is the final shortcut to get across there. Alright. We're getting close, people. Alright. And now we take on our last regular boss, which is a powered up version of Fred. This is Fire Fred, or Enhanced Fred. Okay, you know what? You're getting the grenade treatment. Don't want to do that. There we go. Yes, I am using a turbo controller because these guys think. Almost had it. Whoa. Yeah, I gotta be careful. Is that game over? You know what? This is the benefit of having the version. Rewind. Guess what? Yes, we are going to rewind because I do not want to go through that whole stage again. So, we are going to back up, and we are going to get about right here. And we're going to take this guy out. Yeah, I know it's cheap, but, you know, going through all that mess again? I mean, who wants to do all that? Seriously, who does? And there's nothing wrong with it, you know? I've played this game so many times that, yeah, you know, it was okay. And we got it. And Dead Frog. Ugh. Wow, I still got 4 levels of gun. Okay. So that is our final upgrade. So we now have a fully decked out tank. Got our Crusher Beam, Hyper Beam, Jason's Key. We've got the hover module, dive module, and both wall modules. For now, we can wall our ceilings. Mind you, walking on ceilings is not as hot as it is, because now it means as you drive, that thing will keep on all the time when you're driving. So it can be good, but it can also be a headache. It's just one of those things that, and it also turns your controls around too, which just really makes things loopy. But yes, normally, had I gotten a game over, it would have had to go all the way back through this stage again, which would have taken us how long? But, like I said, that's the benefit of the Switch. I mean, you know, if you were playing this back in the 80s, yeah, this would, it'd stink because you'd have to go through all that again. And, you know, if you've been playing for as long as we have, you just feel like, I don't want to do that. So, there is a benefit to the Switch version. And we will take advantage of it. Okay. But now we can get through here and get out of here. So, now there isn't any connectors to level 8 and level 7. But if you remember back in level 3, there was something unusual there. That wall of spikes. Well, now that we've got the Wall 1 and Wall 2 modules, we can finally see what's over there. So, like I said, be careful here, because using Wall 2 can really make things crazy, because your controls kind of get mixed up and everything. So, you know, when you're walking on these, next thing you know, you're driving off of it, and you've ended up falling down. So, same for these platforms here. So what we want to do is we want to just go ahead and get back up here. Get out of here. Back to level 2. So we're going to come in here, we're going to say our final goodbyes to level 2. We're going to head to level 8. Which, if you thought level 7 was bad, level 8 is even worse. And I do want to get those homing missiles. So, when you're using, when you're using the long units, just kind of be careful, because like I said, they can get really, really finicky. And next thing you know, you're looping all over the place, don't know which way to go. Although it's really cool seeing the car drive up on the ceiling like this. Okay, get up here. I've got level 8 gun, so I don't need to worry about really getting gun power-ups. Just get out of there. Okay. Oh, I need to get some health power-ups. Because I do not want to go into level 8 with just half power. Okay. We'll just take our time to level 3. I'm like doing some power-ups. There we go. Alright. Now, in order to get to level 8, this is what you do. Once you got your wall 1 and wall 2, come up here, drive up, and just keep driving on the ceiling. Because this is technically the only way you can get through. Once you get through this little section here, you can stay on the ceiling and keep going, or you can jump down on the floor. Either way. And it'll just simply loop you around. And come up here. And welcome to level 8, the final frontier. So, here, yeah, you now get the super creepy music. You want to make sure to have some hover, because there is a part that I will tell you is extremely notorious. That is going to cause problems out the wazoo. Now, like I said, your wall unit is going to be annoying, but gonna help. And we're gonna take a lot of shortcuts here. That means we are gonna be taking some damage. We'll go through these spikes, get down here, and not fall, because we weren't supposed to do that. So, we gotta get back up here. Ouch. Okay, I hope we're not in trouble, because I kind of need some cover. Get through here. Okay. So this isn't the worst room in the game. And here's another area that can get you lost. If you're not careful, you want to just keep coming down here. Like I said, that hover unit, like I said, the wall units are going to drive you nuts, which is why you want to just take as much air as you can. Trying to see if this can be... Nope, I do not want to go here. Well, maybe I do. Because I want to get some more hover. Now, normally you would come this way. Oh boy. But there is a room here. Normally you wouldn't even come in here, but I'm coming in here just so I can try to see if I can get some extra hover. Because I need the hover. Okay, gun power up. Whoa. Whoa, no. Okay. Luckily, gun power up. Come on. Give me some hover, people. And yeah, that pink stuff is liquid death. Nope. Oh, come on. So yeah, you don't want to fall in the pink stuff. It is dead. Okay, you got hover, thank goodness. Now give me a gun power up. Please give me a gun power up. Okay, then give me a gun power up. You stink. Okay, I don't even want to know what's over there. So I may have to come back and try to kill another one of those things to get another gun power up to keep my gun at max. Oh, so that's where it goes. It loops around. Nope, we are not taking on that. Okay. Oh. Okay. One gun power up. Good. Are you serious? You know what? I'm getting my gun power up back. There we go. And back to our rainbow beam of death. Oh, 142. We're doing great. Okay. Good. Got more hover. Which is good. And now I'm going up here because I ain't dealing with you fools. Let y'all drop. So I will snipe y'all. Okay. Okay. I want to try to get as much power as I can. Now this is the worst room in the game. This jump box. This is why you want hover. Because you fall into that, it is a nightmare to get out. Now, this is also where we want to be careful. Jump down. Come down right here. Now, we get to deal with this nightmare. These little guys. There's a whole bunch of them. And the jumping here, you don't get a lot of room at all. And these things, like right here, won't get a lot of room at all. So be careful. Use your homing missiles. Homing missiles are your best friend here. At this point, use them. Okay, good. Alright, and we're gonna go to the left. And now we get the fun deal, like, now we get to deal with, you thought those skulls dropping bombs were bad? Now we can deal with the red cousins. And what do the red cousins drop? They drop those little crawly things. Yeah. Want to make your life a living nightmare? Drop those. Good. Alright. Now, luckily, we're getting close to the end here. So at this point, run. Don't even bother with these guys, just make a run for it. And this is the final area. But luckily, we are in good shape. And this is our final dungeon. We say goodbye to our tank. Those things will pop up, straight up, and say hello to the plutonium boss, our cover guy. He's the only boss that you'll fight in full color. Basically, you can grenade him as well, but kind of stay back with the blaster. His little balls will kind of bounce up and down, but as long as you kind of stay away from him and use the blaster, good. Okay, you'll keep spinning those things out, so just take your time. Okay, here we go. Alright. They'll start blowing up. Now say hello to the true final boss, the Underworld Lord. What you want to do, try to lure this guy down to the corner. Okay. Okay. So, this guy kind of has a trick to him. If you can get him in the corner, and you have to get him at a certain angle. When you do, he won't fire his whip diagonally. He'll fire it straight. That's what we're trying to do. So, let's see if we can get him. Oh boy. Oh, come on. There we go. Just like that. You get him like that, he'll fire straight down, and then you just bam on grenades. Okay, seriously? He actually did it? Okay, you might have to adjust a bit, but you keep pounding him. And you'll notice he's getting weak when his shield disappears. And you just spam on the grenades, and boom. There you have it. And that is Blaster Master. So you see the triangle thing or whatever it is go down. And you finally get a look at Jason with his frog sitting on top of the tank, just enjoying life. And that's it. Now, mind you, like I said, I never beat this game when I was a kid. It took me playing it on an emulator, and, I played it on a NES emulator. And then that's when we get to witness the credits. Now, this end credit scene, this is like a symbol, I believe, from Metafight. I think the Sophia force or something is their main force. So you actually get to see the ending symbol there. And at the end of the game here, they did make some changes. In Metafight, when you get to the end, you actually get to see a little animated character of Kane and the creator of the Metal Tank. I think her name was Jennifer Cornett, based on the lore. So that's where you can see that. But like I said, if you play the Blaster Master Zero series, it integrates all of this into it, which I'm gonna definitely say Blaster Master Zero is probably one of the best remakes of this game, of a game made. Like you'll see to the end here, and then you hit start and you're back to the beginning. So that is Blaster Master Zero, or that is Blaster Master, and Blaster Master Zero full trilogy. Number one is a complete remake of the original game, which is really good. It plays just like it. You get all the same upgrades, just like you did in the original game. So it's definitely a fun remake to play. It does integrate a lot of the elements, like I said, taken from the Blaster Master book, as it does introduce Eve into the main storyline. Zero 2 is a good continuation of the story, which introduces a lot more characters. And Zero 3 is when they finally integrate a lot of Metafight into it. So all three of them like I said, you can pick them up on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox, Steam. They're all there. They're all great plays. So I'm definitely telling you, it's a really great series to pick up too. And the original Blaster Master is here in the Nintendo Online. Play the game from start to finish. There's even a special edition if you've never beaten it and you just want to play it from you want to play the end. It'll take you straight to level 8, where you've got everything at max there. So it'll give you a chance to experience that final level if you never got there as well. But I definitely want to say thanks so much for tuning in. Let me back out here. Head on back to our home screen. I want to say thanks so much for tuning into this playthrough of Blaster Master and hanging out with me on this journey. I'm glad you stopped by, and hope some of those strategies did help. Even though I did die a couple of times that I didn't need to, but hopefully, just those couple of little strategies will help out if you decide to play. Definitely, I will say, if you get a chance to play the PlayStation version, Blaster Master Blasting again, this is actually a pretty fun game. It's definitely pretty challenging that, it's in 3D. It's got some interesting levels on it, and it's definitely a fun playthrough. And I'm not going to lie, if you can find this book on Amazon or eBay, if you can find it, this is a fun read. It's only like 120 pages long. I've read it. I still read it to this day, and it's a fun read. And it even has in the back, it even has a giveaway that you could fill out to get a Game Boy. So what was that dated for? I think that was 1988 when this book came out, I believe. So but yeah, this book was even interesting because it even had, like, as you read through it, like certain chapters had these little things like game hints, which if you flipped it upside down, it'll actually tell you, a couple of hints in the game. And it even, like, I think there's even one of them where it even told you, like, what items you get. Let's see. I think this even had the pause trick in here. Let me see here. Yeah, like it even had the pause trick as one of the tips. Like it'll tell you, stage 2, 4, 6, and 7, hit them with a grenade and then pause it when they're flashing. So it was definitely a good pickup and a good find. But want to say thanks so much again for stopping in and enjoying this journey with. I'll be back next week with another retro game that I used to enjoy playing. Still trying to figure out what it is, but we'll have another one here. And I want to say, take care of yourselves, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.